How cold are you?
No,
Cold opening? You're not cold?
not really.
It's getting there. I think today's going to be our last warmish day of the year.
Good.
What do you know about the topic at hand? Do you know anything? Or should we just get into the thing and then start talking about this?
I think we should get right into it.
All right. You're Phoenix, I'm Will, and we are here to bring on the questions. Where where have we answered questions?
Oh, you can find us at linktree.com/BOTQS.
Yep. And the links that you'll find there are YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcast and Spreaker. It's the one that's paying us the most money at this point. It's fun to do all this stuff. The visuals are on YouTube, but that's it. And everything else is audio. Oh no, there's visuals on TikTok also.
Yeah.
That's right. Bring on the cues on TikTok. All right. So, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What are skinwalkers?
Yeah. For some reason, I didn't put that in the note there.
I know, I was looking at that. I was like, question?
Where's the question? There. Now it's in there. For posterity's sake. Completion. Okay. What do you know about skinwalkers?
Well,
They live on a ranch.
not just.
No.
They don't really live anywhere. There's something that becomes other things. And it mimics. And if you fall for the mimic, it'll kill you.
Yeah, I've seen stuff several times that if you happen to be hiking out at mostly the Appalachian Mountains, which range from way down south. How far is it? Tennessee? Might be further than that. Up through New York, I'm pretty sure. So we're just about in the Appalachian Mountains where we are. But like West Virginia is entirely freaking mountains, essentially.
Yeah, we live in kind of rural PA.
Definitely rural PA, but not. We're close to the Appalachian Mountains, but we're not on top of the Appalachians.
Yeah, we live in the we live in but inside of the mountains.
A valley, per se.
A big valley at that.
Yeah.
Because we have a whole town.
Right. But now our geographic location is, we'll put that together. But I've read different things that said if you hear something or someone call your name while you're in the Appalachian Mountains, like hiking or camping or whatever, don't answer. Just don't do it. Don't answer. Don't go investigate. Just pretend it didn't happen. Somebody's yelling for help. Well,
No, you didn't.
no, you didn't. You're right. No, you didn't hear your name.
No, you didn't hear any animal, creature.
Nope.
None.
Nope.
None, not.
Let it go. There are some things in the Appalachians. There's a lot of things in the Appalachians.
Appalachians
Just
are
let it go.
a big mess of.
Let it go. One day we'll probably do an episode on the Hatfields and McCoys, which all that stuff happened in the Appalachian Mountains.
I don't know about that.
Two warring families that lived in the Appalachian Mountains, and just deep, deep country folk. Didn't like each other. It was like redneck mafia stuff. I know. All right. Now we can get into the actual notes of the Skinwalkers. The notes got me a little bit more surprised about Skinwalkers than what I previously understood, which was not much apparently. The figure known in popular culture as the Skinwalker is derived from the complex and highly sensitive belief system of the Navajo Nation, Diné. To understand the nature, origin, and true form of this entity, it is essential to first dismantle the sensationalized modern interpretations and ground the analysis firmly in traditional Diné cosmology and ethics.
The traditional Navajo term for this figure is Ye Nao Delushi.
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 Now Delushi. Ye now Delushi.
Ye Nao Delushi, often transliterated as Yen Al Delusion, Lushi, or
I mean, it's the same thing. You can skip that part.
yeah.
It's a bunch of crazy symbols.
Linguistically, this phrase translates literally to "with it, he goes on all fours," or "by means of it, it goes on all fours." This precise translation immediately establishes a critical distinction. The power of the entity is intrinsically linked to an external means, the it typically interpreted as the animal skin or derived power, and is utilized primarily for locomotion. The emphasis is placed on the functional use of the animal form as a vehicle for executing nefarious deeds, rather than the intrinsic nature of the creature being animalistic.
So, do you understand what you just read? The emphasis is placed on the functional use of the animal form as a vehicle for executing nefarious deeds rather than the intrinsic nature of the creature being animalistic. So it's not, they're not turning it into an animal just to attack people, they're turning it into an animal to get somewhere. Then do things, I guess. Do nefarious deeds. It seems like a super complicated uh, myth or story of the Navajo peoples. Crucially, the Yi Nao Delushi is fundamentally defined as a form of witch. This is not a description of a supernatural being, but a human being, either male or female, who has deliberately chosen to corrupt spiritual power and harness evil for malevolent ends. Witches are universally regarded as the most dangerous threat within Navajo society. This indigenous definition confirms that the Skinwalker's true identity is rooted in human morality and transgression, not in a monstrous or supernatural essence. This perspective reinforces the notion that the ultimate source of danger is the internal collapse of human ethics and communal fidelity. Pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah. The belief system surrounding the Yi Nadalushi originates specifically from Navajo, Diné, folklore within the American Southwest. The geographical context is deeply intertwined with the narratives, placing accounts in areas like Tuba City, Arizona. You must have a lot of tubas. Near Monument Valley.
Gets loud there.
A lot of bass.
Is that where Megan Trainor lives?
While the Diné Nation holds the most prominent and specific mythology, the analysis notes that the Navajo are part of a larger cultural sphere that includes the Apache, Hopi, Pueblo,
Yep.
and
Ute.
Ute peoples, all of whom share broader mythological concepts.
Scholarly works such as that conducted by anthropologist Clyde Cluckone, describe these figures as secret witches, often male, sometimes female, who operated stealthily under the cover of night, taking the form of swift-moving animals like the wolf or coyote, however you want to pronounce it. The figure of the skinwalker acts as a counterpoint to the traditional medicine man who strives to uphold hozho, or balance and harmony.
The primary function of the Skinwalker narrative is sociological. It serves as a robust cultural mechanism for defining and condemning severe social and moral deviance. This figure is
Deviance.
deviance. This figure is the absolute embodiment of antisocial transgression. The traditional, profound reluctance within the Diné community to discuss skinwalkers with non Navajo outsiders, or even those outside trusted family circles, must be understood in this context. This avoidance is not merely due to fear of attracting the witch's attention, but also functions as a self protective measure of cultural governance.
Governance.
Governance. If the narrative's purpose is to enforce social cohesion and warn against internal betrayal within close knit social units, then its public discussion with outsiders fundamentally compromises its spiritual and social integrity. Sharing the lore with a non native audience, particularly for entertainment, transforms a vital sacred caution into secular consumption, thereby thereby
Thereby.
thereby determ und pause, thereby undermining the culturally controlled definition of evil.
So isn't that interesting that they don't want to make it lesser. They in their stories and their religion, skinwalkers are super evil. And if you start just like putting them out in the public and start talking about them, then it kind of dulls their evilness, the dulls their negativity. You know what I mean? Like people get desensitized. The more you're talking about something, the more it gets desensitized. We're desensitized to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we've become desensitized to mass shootings in the U.S., which is awful. But I mean, I don't know how else to say it. That we're desensitized to that. We're desensitized to, I don't know, horror movies. There's just so much horror in entertainment and horror in real life that we're gradually become desensitized to it. So they don't want that for the Skinwalker narrative, the Skinwalker story. They don't want it to be desensitized. They want it to hold this evilness so people don't do it. Don't let their humanity go, their morals go away so that they become these Skinwalker monsters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like keep it private and keep it like top secret to keep the fear.
Right, right. So to them, it's not just a boogeyman story. This is real stuff that they have told through the lines of people. The Skinwalker origin is rooted not in birth or curse, but in deliberate, willful, moral corruption achieved through a clandestine ritual process known as the Witchery Way or Anatihai. 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 Wow. Maybe we should just have something else tell us how to pronounce it. Antihihaini. I'm going to go with that. Let's just call it the Witchery Way. A skinwalker begins their path as an otherwise recognized and sometimes respected member of the community. They are typically described as an educated spiritual practitioner, a medicine man, or high-ranking priest who chooses to pervert their sacred teachings for personal gain. This choice of evil, rather than inherent monstrosity, is the core traditional narrative.
The skinwalker's ability to walk among the people by day, that was in quotes, while only transforming at night, reinforces the threat of betrayal. The most dangerous enemy is thus not an external monster, but a trusted individual from within who has corrupted their spiritual powers. To acquire the supernatural abilities that enable transformation, the prospective which must undergo a secret initiation into a group following the witchery way. The critical requirement for initiation involves committing a heinous antisocial act. Specifically, this is described as the ritual killing of a near relative, commonly a sibling or close family member.
It seems like, well, at some point we'll get into the Wendigo also, but it seems like this and Wendigo psychosis is related. Wendigo psychosis is crazy. The necessity of killing kin serves as the highest form of social and ethical transgression. By destroying the most sacred of bonds, familial and clan loyalty, the individual demonstrates an absolute moral collapse, thereby gaining powers through the perversion of ritual. The power acquired is structurally dependent upon the destruction of kinship, which establishes the Skinwalker as the absolute embodiment of anti-communal behavior and serves as a most profound warning against the internal failure of moral obligation.
The motivations driving a human to become a skinwalker are intensely human and negative. The pursuit of power, wealth, wreaking vengeance, or simply injuring others wantonly, often fueled by profound envy. They employ dark magic to manipulate and harm, causing illness, misfortune, crop failures, or unexplained deaths, for which they are often blamed.
So they just go around just destroying things just for the sake of destroying things. People, property, just destroy it for whatever triggered them to go down that dark path. They're just wantonly destroying people, places, and things. Wantonly destroying nouns. The witchery way involves the profane use of human remains. Skinwalkers are believed to use human corpses, bones, and body parts to craft tools, create poisons, or make potions designed to curse, hurt, or kill others. This constant association with death and corruption reinforces the gravity of their moral fall from grace.
The widespread belief in and fear of skinwalkers transcend more superstition. The narrative holds significant sway over Diné social structure. The belief serves as a crucial social explanation for inexplicable negative events, allowing the community to diagnose and address sources of stress or tragedy.
Blame the Skinwalkers. It's all the Skinwalkers' fault.
Blame the woman.
What woman?
Salem witch trials.
For the Navajo, it's traditionally male witches who turn into the Skinwalkers, the medicine man.
Blame the men.
Downfall of the patriarchy.
Monarchy, here we come.
Monarchy,
or matriarchy, here we come.
Monarchy. Historically, this collective fear has led to extreme measures. For example, the fear of malevolent witches culminated in the Navajo witch purge of 1878, a period during which approximately 40 suspected witches were identified and killed. Sounds like their own version of the Salem witch trials. It's the Navajo witch purge. But Salem witch trials was what, 1680s? So it was?
I don't know.
Quick search, Salem witch trials, dates. We just did this, 1692 to 1693. So almost 200 years later, the Navajos were like, "Whoa, we got our own witch problem out here."
Yeah.
This historical event demonstrates that accusations of being a skinwalker transcend mere cultural narratives and function as a potent mechanism for social control and, when fear escalates, political violence and the cleansing of perceived internal deviance within the nation.
The unambiguous unambiguous conclusion, based on traditional accounts, is that the Skinwalker's true form is human. The now Delushi is a human malevolent witch who has chosen to acquire and use shape-shifting abilities. The animal form is a temporary, functional guise, a deliberate corruption of the physical self, designed to facilitate evil actions while maintaining anatomy.
What?
Anon-
Anonymous. Well, and anonymous. What? Anonymous. They want to be anonymous. Anonymity. What? No, that's not a good.
Anonymity.
Anonymity?
Looks like it.
I know that's not right. I just can't get my tongue to work right. Anonymous. They want to remain anonymous, okay? That's all, folks.
The transformation is typically achieved by wearing the skin or pelt of an animal, such as a coyote, wolf, fox, or bear. This mechanism aligns with the linguistic definition, where the means, is utilized to go on all fours. This power allows the witch to transform into a purely animal form. So, there's some animal pelt, all fours.
How would you like to do that? Just get an animal pelt and just be like, now I'm that thing.
But I am not that spiritually corrupt.
Yet. There's still time.
I don't think I want to be.
Why?
I don't want to be a skinwalker.
But you could wear the skins of aminals.
I don't want to.
But you would have to kill somebody. One of us. Then you'd have to skin something. And you'd have to wear that something's skin.
Yeah.
What animal would you wear?
I don't know. I don't have any nefarious deeds I want to do.
Raccoon? Trash panda? You be a trash panda?
No.
Want to be a cat? How many cat skins do you need to wear to become a cat?
I don't know. How many raccoon skins would you think?
That's a good point. A deer? That's dangerous. You're just asking for it if you want to skinwalk into a deer. An elk.
Do you want to get run over?
Look at headlights and just be shocked.
Fight or flight? Freeze.
Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. Brain cells just stop working when they see headlights. The existence of the skinwalker is described as defying simple categorization, occupying a liminal space somewhere between man and animal, order and chaos. However, in traditional narratives, this ontological shift is primarily manifested in their antisocial actions and behavioral choices, not necessarily in a stable, observable, physical, hybrid form.
Despite their powers of stealth, skinwalkers possess specific identifying markers that betray their transgression. Witches in their human guise may be identified by their eyes, which often appear to glow like an animal's, even when untransformed. When transformed, the animal may display characteristics inconsistent with natural behavior. Their movements may be stiff or unnatural, or they might exhibit human traits, such as having eyes that look unnervingly human. Eyewitness accounts frequently report bipedal movement, such as an animal hopping over a fence like a bipedal man.
Yeah, imagine a deer just getting up and be like, just step over a fence.
Wendigo?
Well, I was thinking of a female deer. I wasn't thinking of antlers. But then if you see the antlers, you'd be like, yep, that's Wendigo. I'm going the other way.
And even if it wasn't, I'm going the other way.
Like if you saw a raccoon stand up and walk away?
Unless it is trained to do that.
You're going to walk away?
Raccoons shan't be walking on their 2 feet. And I'm not talking about the front ones. I'm talking about the back ones.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not talking about either. They shouldn't be walking on either.
What about bears?
Them too.
Elk? Imagine if an elk stood up on its hind legs. Oh, man.
A moose? That.
Yeah. I think my soul would leave my body if I saw a moose stand up.
A moose shan't
What's it
be
going to
doing
step
that.
over? A house?
At this point, yeah.
When it stands up, it'd be like 20 feet tall. Excuse me, garage. I need to get over there. No, my soul will leave my body. We're done. These visual contradictions, animal eyes and human form, human eyes and animal form, establish a clear liminal visual boundary. They confirm the Skinwalkers' violation of Diné cosmological categories, reinforcing their identity as being of chaos and contradiction. Regarding whether Skinwalkers truly exist within the traditional Diné worldview, they are considered active, literal, malevolent entities, powerful human witches who utilize dark forces to influence real-world outcomes such as illness and death. They are not mythological in the sense of ancient, defunct tales, but rather are a current and potent source of fear and concern. From a Western external anthropological perspective, the Skinwalker is classified as a compelling form of folklore, providing a central sociological and ethical structure. The belief structure's influence on the community is undeniably real, regardless of external validation. So, what I'm thinking now is like, I guess, I mean, there's so many people. Let's just say, let's focus this on like North and in the United States, because we know more about the U.S. than other places. But this is happening, or it started in the American Southwest. So we're thinking like Texas to California. So Nevada, Las Vegas, all that stuff. But there's an incredible amount of people between Texas and California, especially in Vegas, especially in the bigger cities. Skinwalkers just avoid those places, or there's just so many people that we don't miss some people.
Or maybe all the people that we see look just like blurs because there's so many of them.
There's so many
that
Skinwalkers?
That they just blend right in.
Oh, yeah, sure. And if you have animal eyes, you can just put sunglasses on.
Because it's hot, sunny.
Yep. I don't think there's too many animals you look at and be like, man, that raccoon's got people eyes. Don't get that raccoon anymore.
I don't think you look at many animals when you're at there. Unless you're in like Texas, like rural Texas.
Desert area. Like the hot, sparsely populated areas.
Yeah.
Think a Skinwalker turns into a lizard?
I could.
How many lizard skins do you need to turn into a Skinwalker?
I know.
Can you just put
talk
one?
about how many skins you need.
Can you just put one on and go with it?
But it's still the skin. It doesn't say how many skins. It just says
one.
You need to skin. I don't know. It doesn't specify.
Armadillo? Let's Skinwalker into an armadillo?
Well, which part of the skin are you taking? Are you taking the armor or taking the other part of
I think the
skin?
armor would be cool. Like you just walk around with the armadillo helmet on. Look, guys, I'm an armadillo now. And then you just roll up and you turn into a speed bump.
You put the little headpiece just on your nose. Hey guys, I'm Minecraft Steve. But armadillo version.
Armadillo Steve.
The Skinwalker possesses specific vulnerabilities tied directly to their identity as corrupted human. as a corrupted human. If a person tracks the witch and correctly pronounces their true human name, the Skinwalker will become sick or die, suffering consequences for the wrongs they have inflicted. It reminds me of the one Conjuring movie.
Rumpelstiltskin.
That's not a Conjuring movie. It's the one with the little girl who gets possessed by the old man who is possessed by Valak.
Buddy, I don't know what you're talking about. I think we watched the first one. That's it. You've been watching Conjuring movies solo?
Nope.
This is why you're desensitized.
I don't watch Conjuring movie. Where am I gonna watch them? I don't have anything.
What are you talking about? You don't have anything. You have your phone. So they're on a bunch of the streaming services that we have.
I'm not logged in. I'm logged into like 2 of them.
Well, anyway, I don't know which Conjuring movie you're talking about, but go on with the.
I think it's The Conjuring 2. Not like the second movie in the series, but just The Conjuring 2.
Number 2.
But like Lorraine, in the end, has to say Valak's name because that's
Spoiler.
Well, how else am I gonna show? How else am I gonna show the connection?
Keep going.
In the end, Lorraine, like Ed, is like holding the little girl, because there was a tree. I think it got struck by lightning or something happened to it. That it was like a big old spike.
Okay.
And the girl got pushed out through like basically through the window and almost onto the tree.
Okay.
And Ed caught her, but was holding on to like the curtains, and the curtains were falling. And Lorraine was going to go save him, but Valak was in the corner right next to the window. And so he like pushed her against the wall and she was held there. And so in the end, Lorraine finally said Valak's real name. And so Valak was no more.
Sounds Skinwalker-ish to me. Or demon. And I'm pretty sure I've heard that for demon things too. Like if you pronounce the demon's true name, then they go away or they have to do your bidding or something. Something like that.
Like you take away their power.
Right. You make them lesser.
It's kind of like desensitizing.
And this is a perfect example what the Navajo did not want, apparently, according to our notes. That we are desensitized to it. We're already making jokes about what we're talking about. Skinwalkers being armadillos or what have you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything's being desensitized. So they're desensitizing the demons. They're making their powers lesser. Is that what you're saying?
Like desensitizing yourself and others about that demon.
Right.
Or demonic presence.
Right. So we've talked about, say, the devil, Lucifer, whatever, so much that as an adult, it seems Lucifer has power, but it seems lesser because we're adults about it now or something. I don't know. It just seems desensitized. Maybe it's all the media that the devil's done. That, they put the devil in all kinds of media, like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Yo, devil dude. Beelzebub. It's hilarious. See? Desensitized to that maximum demon.
I wonder if you wore the skin of another person, you would become that person.
Wow. Take a step back there, Buffalo Bill.
Oh, you want to wear the skin of a buffalo with a bill?
Now you're talking about Ed Gein. That's what Ed Gein thought.
I don't know what that is.
They just the movie, the biopic, sort of. You know how they did the Dahmer movie. Well, now they have one of Ed Gein, who was extremely bad serial killer, and the serial killer movies are based on stuff that he did. Leatherface is based on stuff Ed Gein did. Buffalo Bill from the Silence of the Lamb movies, where he would cut the skin off of women to wear the skin of women to pretend he was a woman, is based on stuff Ed Gein did. Crazy. Talk about true crime. Holy crap. Yeah. I think Ed Gein, somewhere in his mind, maybe he went down the dark path thinking he was a skinwalker.
I mean, he was walking in another person's skin.
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah, that.
That's not fun.
No. We're going to talk about skinwalkers and not the act. Well, I mean, hey, buddy, maybe he did go skinwalker. He was possessed by something. He was practicing Navajo.
Okay. Where are we at?
Well, you were halfway through the skinwalker possesses specific blah, 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 blah. And the fact that identifying, you talked about the skinwalker becomes sick and die. How do you say his name?
The fact that identifying and pronouncing the name is lethal demonstrates that the ultimate cultural defense is the enforcement of the witch's total loss of human connection and societal identity. Furthermore, traditional accounts suggest that if a skinwalker is forced to speak while in their transformed animal state, they supposedly die. So,
yeah, what? That's crazy. Like, if you see an armadillo and you're like, oh my God, that's Taylor Swift.
Steven, is that you?
Steven the armadillo.
Stefan, is that you?
And he's like, no, you pronounced my name correctly. I've told everybody it's Steven. My parents named me Stefan. No.
Stephen Curry the Great.
Then the armadillo just melts.
Puddle in the desert.
They supposedly die.
A puddle in the desert.
That's it. And then it gets sucked into the desert. Just evaporates.
And now they're a cactus.
And there goes Stefan the armadillo. Now he's a cactus. He was resurrected into a cactus.
No, his melted state got sucked into the cactus roots.
That's not good. So now you can get stabbed by Stefan the armadillo. You grab the wrong cactus.
I don't think you'll be grabbing any cactus.
Did we just write a horror movie?
I think we did.
That's how the first one ends. The second one begins when someone gets stabbed by Stefan the cactus.
And now Stefan the cactus is in that spike and is in that person. I think we just created a series. A horror comedy.
Horror comedy. Yeah. Think about it. The widespread interest in skinwalkers, fueled largely by internet horror forums and popular media, has created a secondary, highly inaccurate narrative that profoundly misrepresents the figure, transforming a localized moral caution into a globalized cryptid. In modern non-native narratives, the Yi Naudalushi is typically reduced to a simplistic, barbaric beast or a generic monster, effectively stripping the figure of its complex moral and sociological context. This flattening of the narrative ignores the concept of the skinwalker as a human who actively and deliberately chose the path of evil, replacing it instead with a creature that is inherently or genetically malevolent. This shift capitalizes on the fear of the unknown, particularly within the wide, mysterious expanses of the American wilderness.
The misinterpretation extends deeply into the figure's
Purported.
purported abilities and lore. The most significant and common attribution in popular fiction is the power to perfectly mimic human voices, traits, or appearances.
Oh, so that's pop culture that we were talking about. But still, if a disembodied voice calls your name while you're camping in the Appalachians, no, it didn't.
Or if you hear your own voice.
No, you didn't.
This ability is not found in traditional accounts. This change fundamentally alters the nature of the horror. The traditional skinwalker, while dangerous, is identifiable by its unnatural movements or contradictory eyes. By introducing perfect mimicry, the modern version becomes a creature of cosmic horror, an undetectable threat that could be anyone, reflecting external Western anxieties about trust and identity, which are foreign to the original Diné narrative, focused on the identifiability of moral corruption.
Non-native authors often misinterpret the liminal existence between man and animal, superficially depicting hybrid humanoid bodies with animal parts, rather than focusing on the traditional shift in the witch's antisocial actions. The complete dehumanization of the figure removes the moral agency of the human transgressor.
I think we should add human eyes to our armadillo then.
Human eyes to the armadillo.
Yeah.
Stefan's own eyes.
Yeah. Bright blue eyes.
That would be crazy.
And human size too, so it's just big eye, little armadillo head.
That sounds like what's that movie? Rango.
Oh yeah.
That's all I keep picturing. Now that we gave the armadillo the name Steven or Stefan, and it was animated. It's an animated horror movie.
It's bad CGI. You can tell when something is edited and
when it's really bad. I've seen something recently that said we need to bring back like the super exaggerated that you can definitely tell it's a dummy that somebody throws around.
Yeah.
Like I know they did it in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air different times where this like a muscle lady would punch one of the characters and then it would cut and it would just show this dummy just flying through the air. The dummy's only like 60 pounds or whatever, but it's just ragdoll physics and it just flops down someplace.
A frequently cited error is the equation of the Skinwalker, Navajo, with the Wendigo, Algonquin.
What? Algonquin. What?
Algonquin.
There you go.
These are two entirely separate figures of Native American origin, and attributing abilities like mimicry to both perpetuates widespread factual misinformation.
I guess we'll have to get a little deeper in the old Wendigo a little later on.
Yeah, Wendigo.
Is that your Wendigo voice?
I was yawning.
You turning into a raccoon? The enthusiastic participation by the non-native audience in retelling and altering these narratives for entertainment constitutes an ethical issue of cultural appropriation and exploitation. Here we are. We're doing exactly that. This behavior runs directly counter to the traditional Diné cultural practice of protecting and limiting discussion of this lore.
You stop my yawns.
What?
I keep laughing when I yawn now.
Keep yawning when you laugh now.
Scholarly analysis suggests that this persistent misinterpretation carries profound sociological consequences. By portraying the Skinwalker as a simple, barbaric monster, the complexity of Navajo culture is
Exoticized.
exoticized. Furthermore, critics argue that denying the humanity of the Skinwalker, a human witch who chose evil, is structurally seen as denying the humanity of the Native Americans from whom the figure originates, reducing a complex cultural warning to a simplified consumable entity.
This cycle of misinformation is often structurally reinforced by the digital environment. For instance, the rules of some horror fiction forums explicitly prohibit users from attempting to debunk posted stories. This institutional arrangement prevents Diné individuals from sharing accurate cultural context and correcting inaccuracies, allowing the external, sensationalized narrative to override the authentic cultural context, leading to the irreversible alteration and flattening of a complex cultural icon. All of this confirms that the Skinwalker, Delushi, is not an external cryptid or mythological beast, but a deeply significant cultural figure rooted in the traditional beliefs of the Navajo Diné Nation.
The integrity of the Yi-Nadalushi narrative is inherently tied to the cultural context of the Diné. Any discussion or study of this subject requires careful recognition of the figure's primary role as a powerful cultural warning against internal human corruption, not as a source of mass market entertainment. Excuse me. When engaging with such sensitive indigenous subjects, academic rigor demands prioritizing the authentic cultural context, including including respecting the Diné reluctance to share the lore with outsiders over the perpetuation
Hmm.
of sensationalized, often inaccurate external narratives.
Yeah, I would love to talk to somebody directly. Uh, they're people of the Skinwalker, that story, or a Wendigo. That would be freaking cool to talk to someone who grew up in that culture, who is of that culture, not just grew up in it, but is of that culture, and you know, only separated by a generation or two of the actual story. Not, we're reading in a book or from the internet or from a movie or blah blah blah. It would be cool to get it from, as close to the source as possible.
Like almost firsthand.
Yeah, yeah, like a medicine man of the Native American culture. But the reservations are notoriously protected. It would be, I mean, they would welcome. I'm pretty sure they would welcome anybody if somebody's curious. But if they were to protect their lore, then there's nothing you can do about it. If they were like, yeah, we're not talking about that, then what are you gonna do? Hang out, hang out with the peoples. The enduring significance of the Yi Na Delushi lies in its reflection of the universal human capacity for moral corruption. It serves as a powerful reminder that the most profound threats to order and harmony originate not from external supernatural forces, but from the deliberate, destructive choices made by human individuals within the community. Animals be doing animal things, people be doing people things, and if people want to do animal things, might have a problem.
Or if animals want to do people things.
What? The animal's choice?
You don't think animals can have opinions?
It's an animal's choice? If a snake comes up to me and asks me, why is this road hot?
Well,
My soul's gonna leave my body, just like it's gonna leave the body when a moose stands up.
I don't think I don't think most of the animals really have as high functioning vocal cords.
Oh, so
Like,
how do they communicate?
but there's certain calls. Like, they're.
Snakes are pretty good at making S's, and they could do O's. I don't think they're gonna be able to do a B too easily.
What about a rattlesnake?
They could do a C.
Body language.
Oh, you mean just like what they're doing, not spelling stuff out to talk to a human directly. But a rattlesnake rattles and be like, "Stay away from me and my babies." You got it. I'm not gonna near you or your babies.
A dog growls. It's like,
Their body language.
or if they like put themselves in downward dog, mostly, that means they want to play. That's how they tell other dogs, hey, I want to play.
And tails wagging.
Yeah.
We're good. Tails down. We're not good.
Tails down, they're kind of like scared. Or like tail between their legs, they're like scared.
Right. So, those are animals wanting to become human? Is that what you're saying?
If,
So that's a good thing? So it's negative if a human wants to become an animal, but it's positive if an animal wants to become a human?
I'm not saying that. I'm teaching you.
Me.
I'm saying that animals communicate in their different ways, but if an animal starts talking to you, having like a conversation,
We're going to have a problem.
I don't know how much snake would get on its hind leg.
It's not even a leg.
Hind tail. Hind body. But it shouldn't.
It shouldn't. I'd have to slither up a tree.
It shouldn't be on the trees.
And convince you to eat that apple. That's why we're in the position we're in. Yep. Callback. Rofar. No, we didn't even say anything about that. Just popped in my head.
Well, we kind of talked about Christianity.
Yeah, devil's work and all that. But we're almost done. Yeah.
We can't have a Skinwalker episode without talking at least a little about Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep. That's where they go on vacation.
Or they eat a lot of dressing.
Ranch dressing.
They wear a lot of dresses there.
I don't think they grow dillweed on Skinwalker Ranch.
I wonder if they make dillweed dresses.
Dillweed dresses. They don't have dillweed.
Imported from somewhere. I don't know. They'll just go out as their merry bunny rabbit selves, pick some dillweed, carry it as an eagle over to their Skinwalker Ranch.
You just zip zap between different animals or what? You got a patch of eagle over here, you got a patch of lizard on this side, a turtle on your knee.
Yeah, you just you pick which animal, you concentrate on that skin.
Is that how it goes?
I don't know. I'm making myself up at this point.
Stephanie Armadillo did a lot.
He was a thorn in someone's wrist because they were hugging a cactus for some reason.
And now they can turn into an armadillo whenever they want. And they get a patch of a lizard. They're good to go as a lizard for a while.
They hypnotized the person that the thorn stabbed. And now he controls that person and is now basically reincarnated, and learns that you can have multiple things on at once. And you can choose.
That would be the strangest dude to walk into a market looking for a Gatorade. This dude's wearing a armadillo hat. He's got a turtle on his left knee. He reaches for the Gatorade, and out of his sleeve comes a lizard.
Or a bit of a gator.
A gator?
A gator drinking Gatorade. Or you just find it out, like you see him as a gator and walking into the store, becomes a gorilla drinking Gatorade.
Could you upgrade? Like, the armadillo is pretty cool. Got some armor. But could you go from like a desert lizard to like a Komodo dragon? And be like, I don't need the desert lizard anymore. I'll just go Komodo. You got to get a Komodo skin, which will be pretty tough. Komodos are crazy.
Yeah.
We'll have to think about this. We should about get back to the.
I didn't finish my movie idea though.
Okay.
You stab the wrist. Now you mind control that one. And now you learn that you can be multiple things and choose which one. And he gathers all of the dough he needs for his dough dress and all the dough he needs for his other Skinwalker friends. And they need to make their dough dresses too. And then they all have their pinpoint spot, which is Skinwalker Ranch. They go there. They make their ranch dresses.
Not dressing.
Dresses. And then they get a giant tub of sour cream and make ranch dressing.
With their dill weed dresses.
Their dough dresses.
Ranch dresses.
And they can choose which animal they would like to be in that ranch dresses.
The power's in the dress? Now?
Yeah.
So they had to go through all this stuff. This sounds like a video game now. You got quest items to collect. But if everybody's a Skinwalker, then nobody's a Skinwalker, right?
No, he just has a bunch of buddies.
Bunch of Skinwalker friends.
Yeah. Like, you can have a dolphin and a gorilla and an armadillo, which is Stefan, and Teresa. She likes to be trees.
Nice. Skinwalk into a tree?
I mean, you could have the bark as skin.
It's a living organism, right?
Yeah.
It just doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, yeah.
So if a group of crows is called a murder, no, that's ravens, right?
No, that's crows.
Crows are murder. Fish are in schools. What's a group of Skinwalkers called? A dillweed.
A ranch dresses.
Ranch dresses. No? We're silent now.
I'm thinking.
No group of Skinwalkers? If you finish the sentence, then we could get on with the show. Let your subconscious think about it. Put it in the back of your mind.
I usually do that with things.
Yep. And your subconscious can figure it out. Can't have a Skinwalker episode. Mm-hmm.
These are two entirely separate figures of. Oh, wait. I'm too far.
Yeah, we're only a couple notes away from the end. There you go.
I was at the wrong little one. There is allegedly a lot more going on at Skinwalker Ranch than just your run-of-the-mill Skinwalkers, like ranch dresses.
Mm-hmm. Those.
But we'll save all the other stuff for some future episode. For now, we're only going to touch on the Skinwalker part of Skinwalker ranch dresses.
You think about the group of Skinwalkers. Skinwalker Ranch, SWR, a property comprising approximately 512 acres located southeast of Ballard, Utah, has become the world's most renowned nexus of unexplained phenomena. Situated in the Uinta Basin, this area has long been associated with paranormal activity, earning it the moniker UFO Alley among enthusiasts. Since the mid-1990s, the ranch has generated extensive reports spanning unidentified aerial phenomena, electromagnetic anomalies, large cryptid sightings, and cattle mutilations. The ranch's location borders the Uinta and Ouray Indian Reservation. The historical and geopolitical context of the land is intrinsically tied to the genesis of its ominous reputation.
Hmm.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
The investigation into Skinwalker Ranch requires careful consideration of its ownership history, as the identity and experiences of the residents mark the beginning and evolution of the phenomena. The property was owned by Kenneth and Edith Myers for 6 decades. Critically, the Myers family maintained during this 60-year tenure with no supernatural events of any kind had occurred on the property. This historical baseline of quiet ownership provides a central structural contradiction in the entire Skinwalker Ranch narrative. I think I'm gonna start calling it ranch dresses. The long-term silence observed by the Myers family prevents simple attribution of the subsequent phenomena to intrinsic geological features, ancient curses, or geophysical disturbances that would have been present continuously. The documented disparity between 6 decades of normalcy and the immediate onset intense activity in 1994 shifts the analytical focus toward either a highly specific recent triggering event or the possibility of an exaggerated or fabricated narrative created by the succeeding owners.
Interesting. Terry and Gwen Sherman purchased the ranch, then known as Sherman Ranch, in 1994 with the expectation of a relaxing country life. Their 18-month occupancy proved to be the pivotal catalyst for the ranch's international fame. During this short period, the Shermans reported a relentless series of inexplicable and frightening events, including UFO sightings, mysterious crop circles, and repeated cattle mutilations. These accounts, publicized in 1996 by journalist George Knapp, led directly to the property's subsequent sale to Robert Bigelow.
Las Vegas real estate magnate and aerospace enthusiast Robert Bigelow acquired that 512-acre property for $200,000 soon after the stories detailing the Sherman's claims appeared in the media. Bigelow established the National Institute for Discovery Science and NIDSI, and later Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, BAASS, or BASE BOSS, to conduct extensive proprietary surveillance and investigation of the paranormal claims. Paranormal?
Paranormal?
You're not normal.
I'm not normal. I'm paranormal.
You don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't know what you're trying to tell me.
I'll show you later.
These damn kids and their TikToks. In 2016, Bigelow sold the ranch to Brandon Fugel, a prominent Utah real estate mogul and tech investor, operating via Adamantium Real Estate LLC. Yeah, adamantium, fake metal used in the X-Men comic books. I don't think adamantium's real. Pretty sure it's not. This transition marked a decisive shift toward public engagement. While Bigelow prioritized operational secrecy, Fugel adopted a strategy of widespread media partnership, notably with the History Channel. Notably with the History Channel, aiming to utilize advanced technology and apparent transparency to establish the credibility of a phenomenon. However, Fugel's operation still maintains military-grade security for the data collected, reflecting the sensitive nature of the ongoing investigation.
I looked up about adamantium. Adamantium is not real.
Adamantium is not real. It's covered on Wolverine's skeleton is covered in adamantium, and his claws are adamantium.
Well,
that's what he says.
Now we're back to ranch dresses. Now he's a cat and he says rare.
The Wolverine. A cat?
He can be a Wolverine
Who?
and say rare.
Because he has cat and Wolverine powers? Now we're talking Animorphs.
No. He can be a Wolverine like the animal.
Okay.
And say rare.
With his human eyes.
Yeah. And extremely human lips.
It's very frightening to think about.
In a cup, like where you would have vampire or werewolf teeth, you would have human teeth on a Wolverine.
As long as his ears or hair are swooped up on both sides, like his Wolverine mask.
Now we've got Wolverine with a little bit of metal.
With a little bit of metal.
Metal color. A silver fox.
That's an old person.
That can be the old buddy. That can be the silverback gorilla. Siobhan,
the silverback gorilla lady.
Man.
Oh, they're Siobhan dudes. Siobhan's traditionally Irish female.
I know.
And it's spelled definitely not the way it sounds.
No, definitely not.
Siobhan.
Yeah. Or Eva.
What? I just make stuff up.
That's an actual Irish name.
How do you spell it?
A-I-O.
What?
I-F.
A-O-I-F-E? Aphie? Ephie? I don't know.
You should look it up.
Celtic is crazy.
The property
acquired.
The property acquired its ominous and famous name, Skinwalker Ranch, directly from the Navajo legend. Researchers acknowledged that the depth and complexity of the Skinwalker legend are not easily understood or accurately represented outside of traditional Navajo culture, which often leads to sensationalization of the term. Despite the name's origin, the ranch is not situated within the Navajo Nation. Rather, it is located on the Uintah Basin, adjacent to the Ute Territory, approximately 400 miles north of the Navajo homeland.
Ooh, the Utes in the Navajo. Are they going to have a problem?
Siobhan is now Ute.
She has an Irish name and she's of Ute.
He.
Who? He. This is a mess. The historical animosity between the Ute and Navajo tribes provides the crucial foundation for the ranch's enduring narrative of being cursed. Historical accounts confirm the relationship between the two tribes as acrimonious, with the Navajo having previously enslaved the Ute people. Local lore associated with the region claims that during a period of intense hostility, members of the Navajo tribe intentionally unleashed skinwalkers upon their Ute enemies. According to this narrative, these supernatural entities continue to stalk the land today, perpetuating the conflict through paranormal means. The naming of the ranch is therefore highly effective as it frames the subsequent strange phenomena not as random events, but as the consequence of an ancient, deliberate act of spiritual warfare. This interpretation suggests the entire property is subject to an intentional, long-term curse, providing a unifying explanation for the simultaneous existence of UAPs, cryptids, and other phenomena. So hold on. You're telling me that both these different tribes took some of their people and were like, okay, who wants to be a skinwalker? By the way, you got to kill your mom to become a skinwalker so you can fight other skinwalkers against the other tribe. What? How do you convince people to do that?
Persuasiveness?
You can be all powerful and fight for the rest of eternity in this land of where we fight. And by the way, the white people are going to name it Skinwalker Ranch, where the Skinwalkers fight it out for eternity.
You also
First, you
have
got to
kill
your mom.
I think we said that like in sync.
I think so.
However, the yep. However,
Authenticity.
However, the authenticity of the local lore being an active concern for the Ute tribe itself has been questioned. Betsy Chapoose,
I'm going with it.
that's our fourth person. Betsy Chapoose and Teresa are best friends. And then they met Siobhan and Stefan.
They're basically the Avengers of the Navajo people.
And Stefan is now spelled STEFIGHGKN.
I think that's traditionally Celtic.
The two Celtic brothers that were sent down a river, Siobhan and Stefan, are now skinwalkers. And Siobhan's Ute and Stefan is
Navajo? Can't be. They're brothers.
I don't know.
White.
Stefan is
Caucasian.
Russian.
He's far from home. Basically the opposite side of the world.
Half Russian, half Irish.
But he was raised by the Navajo peoples? By the Utes. They're different.
I think they should both be half Russian, half Irish. And they were raised by Utes.
You're perpetuating the cycle that skinwalkers are lesser, desensitized. With your crazy comic book, video gamey narrative.
My movie.
Is it a movie?
I don't know.
You got 10 parts going on this movie right now.
It's gonna be the worst.
You're gonna have to. There's so many of them. You have to start giving them years instead of just part 2, 3.
Skinwalkers, the ranch dresses.
26.
Part 96.
Now they do
Chapter 12.
Now they do the sports games. NHL 25. Skinwalkers 25.
I love this series of whatever it is. I think it should be like Fast and Furious movies. They just keep going on. Because I keep making more story.
Skinwalkers in space.
And you like to travel backwards in time and then travel so much forwards in time. And then go present day.
Then you start mixing cultures. So now the skinwalkers are meeting up. Like all these crazy people are meeting up with people in Hogwarts.
Yep.
I honestly think J.K. Rowling tried to do some sort of, like, she wanted to expand the wizarding world into the whole world. And I think somewhere on the internet exists her version of the Native American mythology. Didn't go over well.
And now, Teresa is a Native American.
We should end this.
And now we have to get into the backstory of Teresa and Betsy Capoose.
You got prequels going?
I've prequels, sequels, and quills.
Quills. Side stories. Stories that happen parallel with what's already going on.
Are we at, however?
Mm-hmm. You started talking about Betsy Chapoose and got distracted.
Betsy Chapoose, the cultural rights and protecting director for the Ute tribe, reported that in 30 years of her tribal missionary, yep,
Bring it back.
administration work, no individual had approached her office to discuss the ranch. This lack of contemporary centralized the Ute concern for the curse introduces an important counterpoint, suggesting that the Navajo curse on the Ute explanation may be a Navajo curse on the Ute explanation may be a geographically isolated legend or narrative primarily amplified by external non-tribal interest for the purpose of promoting the ranch's mystique.
The ranch, originally known as Sherman Ranch, earned its current infamous title due to the experiences of the Sherman family. Specifically, former owner Terry Sherman is credited with coining the name Skinwalker Ranch following repeated sightings of large, shape-shifting, or human-like creatures. The chilling accounts provided by Terry and Gwen Sherman were the primary factors that galvanized public interest and persuaded Robert Bigelow to invest in the property. These claims established the baseline taxonomy of anomalies associated with the ranch. This is the important part.
The most seminal event contributing to the ranch's name involved a bizarre encounter reported by Terry Sherman. One night, he heard a disturbance outside and was startled to observe a wolf in his yard. The animal was described as being significantly larger than any wolf Sherman had ever seen. In response, Sherman retrieved his gun and fired several shots at the animal from close range. Astonishingly, the bullets appeared to inflict no damage whatsoever. The creature eventually departed, but the subsequent investigation revealed the most perplexing aspect. As Sherman pursued the wolf, its tracks vanished entirely, leading to the conclusion that the animal had simply vanished into thin air. This specific event featuring a large, impervious, and suddenly dematerializing cryptid, directly informed Terry Sherman's decision to apply the term skinwalker to the property, cementing the narrative of a shape-shifting, malevolent entity.
He's got a lot more stories. I think you could definitely just look up Terry Sherman and Skinwalker Ranch and find many, many stories of them getting freaked out by various events during their time on the ranch, which we might get into if we do a full-on Skinwalker Ranch episode. There's a lot going on. The characteristics of this incident, specifically the creature's immunity to conventional force and its inexplicable disappearance, represent a crucial analytical juncture. These physical impossibilities immediately elevate the sighting from a terrestrial cryptozoological event to a high strangeness phenomenon, one suggesting either localized force field technology or manipulation of spacetime. This transition provided justification for subsequent investigators like Bigelow to focus heavily on UAP research rather than mere cryptozoology.
In addition to the sighting of the impervious wolf, the Shermans reported systematic and repeated instances of cattle mutilation during their residency. These attacks were characterized by exceptional precision. The mutilations were described as oddly surgical and bloodless. One detailed report noted a cow had been almost entirely disemboweled, yet there was a complete lack of blood surrounding the cow. While cattle mutilations have been a fixture in the surrounding regional folklore for decades, the frequency and apparent surgical nature of the events at ranch dresses suggested a deliberate, calculated action beyond typical predation.
So a cow, all of its bits cut out, no blood. How's that possible?
Was it skinned?
No, they took its parts, disemboweled. They cut it open, took out the inside parts of the cow, and there was no blood. That's how these unexplained cattle mutilations happen. A cow has a bunch of blood.
A cow has a bunch of everything.
Right. So how can that be disemboweled? Took out the inside parts, not necessarily all of its organs, but there would be a complete lack of blood surrounding the cow.
There has to be at least a drop if you're gonna take out the insides of a cow.
Yeah. You're thinking, yeah, it's mind blowing.
Like, how would you even drag that without getting blood all over the place?
Right.
Because cow organs, pretty big, because a cow's pretty big. Cow heart, pretty big. Comes a lot of blood. Not a single drop.
Right. How's that possible?
Did Stefan just buy a crate for all the
blood? Stefan's an armadillo. He can't drag a crate of blood.
Well, now he's
He's got all the things. He's strong as a Komodo dragon.
He's got Siobhan with him.
Siobhan's silverback gorilla, right?
Yeah. And Siobhan lends some of his skin to him.
That's not. So a copy of a copy? You don't want a copy of a copy. You want a Xerox silverback gorilla? Get all mishmashy?
Well, like, take some of the skin from human. Like, take the pelt of the silverback gorilla, cut it in half, and so both of them can just have a shoulder patch of silverback gorilla.
Oh, so these patches come on and off, is what you're saying. Who's carrying the satchel of skin parts?
Oh, no, you just sew them to yourself.
Then you have to rip it off if you want to share. Everybody's going to be a silverback. You got to tear a little bit off.
That's why you don't share very often.
This lore is getting out of control. The Sherman family also reported mysterious crop circles, sightings of flashing lights, and general activity involving unidentified flying objects, UFOs. Their accounts served as the foundational data set that skeptics argue was expertly crafted to maximize media attention and increase the property's value upon sale to Robert Bigelow. An interpretation supported by the fact that many of the more extraordinary claims originated solely from Terry Sherman. Now, I looked it up, and I guess they sold Skinwalker Ranch. The Shermans sold Skinwalker Ranch to Robert Bigelow for $200,000, which was a loss. And I didn't go super duper deep into trying to figure out how much the Shermans bought it for, but they said selling it for $200,000 was a loss. They just wanted to get out of there. So, however that works, whatever that means. But Stephanie Armadillo and friends will continue to haunt this episode.
I mean, if I were Terry and Sherman?
No. Sherman's the last name. Terry and what's her name? You remember what her name was?
Sherman.
No. What's her last name? Mr. and Mrs. Sherman. Gwen.
If I were Gwen and Terry Sherman, I also wouldn't want Siobhan, Teresa, Betsy, Caboose, and Stefan creating rituals with my crops.
No.
And the bloodless cows.
Leave the dillweed alone.
Stop making ranch dresses.
Leave the dillweed alone.
Stop making ranch dressing out of ranch dresses.
It's a weird ritual.
Stop making crop circles with my cows.
Cow circles. Cows can't do donuts.
Craup circles.
You can't say crowd. That's just derogatory.
Craup.
Okay. You know what time it is.
Yup. Time to go write my 15,000 part book. Each book has 2 chapters.
That's it. Some books have piles and piles of chapters. Anyway, question brought.
Question answered.